So what is native advertising? Native advertising is a form of paid media where the ad experience follows the natural form and function of the user experience in which it is placed. You may also know native advertising to be called sponsored content, content marketing, or advertorial. So why is native an effective tool for marketers? Native works because content is viewed as editorial. Our native placements reside in the same locations as our editorial content, allowing your advertiser's message to blend right in. Native advertising also increases visibility in a non-traditional way. The content can also be timely or evergreen, and our native packages have great shelf life. And as always, by partnering with us, your clients are able to reach 75% of adults in the market weekly. Now let's take a look at what makes up a native advertising strategy. Native is really a two-pronged approach, one part content strategy, one part distribution strategy. The content strategy focuses on the type of content marketing used. For example, a native article, an infographic, or a video. The distribution strategy focuses on the platforms and channels to reach audience. For example, a native ad unit impression, print ads, or video placements. Together, these two components make up the native strategy. Now, native advertising isn't for every client, and it's important to be selective and qualify your clients for participation in these strategies. Some of the top prospects to consider for native are healthcare, wellness, home services, real estate, financial, nonprofits, national brands, and automotive. It's also really important to manage and set expectations for campaign success. Native advertising and content marketing are designed to be long-term branding and credibility building strategies. So if you have an advertiser who's looking to promote a 50% off sale and expect a lot of store traffic and foot traffic, this campaign wouldn't be a good solution for them. Content is king when it comes to native advertising, and having the sound digital content strategy is fundamental to the success of any native campaign. Let's start by reviewing some content marketing best practices. Content marketing is different than the traditional advertising your clients may be used to. Content marketing is intended to be educational, inspirational, historical, or showcase things to do. Content marketing is not intended to be about self-promotion, a sales event, opinions, or any type of advertisement. Successful native campaigns keep these best practices in mind to ensure success and user engagement. Considering those best practices, here are a few headline examples for some of the top prospect categories mentioned. So if you're working with a healthcare organization, a potential headline could read, 6 ways to avoid the flu this season. For financial, it could be steps to become debt-free this year. For real estate, it could be how to get more for your home, and so on. So now let's take a deeper look into the elements that make up the content strategy. We can offer our clients custom content creation to be used in our print products, online, and elsewhere. The cost per article is $700, and we are currently vetting out a few different vendors to produce this high-quality content. Some clients may opt to have their content created internally or produced in-house, and that's fine. Just make sure that your management team locally approves of the content prior to publication. To give your clients maximum reach and exposure, be sure to include an online article landing page to any article that is produced. This will allow your client's article to live on our newspaper website for the duration of their native campaign. The cost to create the landing page is $200 in addition to the article production itself. We can also offer our clients custom native video creation. These videos can be educational or how-tos, and the cost per video will vary based on the client's needs. We'll be taking a further look into our new video capabilities after we finish this presentation, but some basic pricing to reference for a 30-second video shot on location for 1 hour is starting at $1,400, and the cost for the same option in a 60-second format is $1,600. Give your clients the opportunity to position themselves as the expert in their industry in a very visual way with an infographic. Infographics are a great add-on to any native package and cost $700 per design. Infographics can showcase tips, tricks, and trends, or be informative and statistically driven. Now that we've covered all of the elements that make up the content strategy, let's move on to the distribution strategy. The most fundamental element to any native advertising campaign will be the native ad unit placement. As you can see, our native ad unit placements blend right into the top stories our viewers read daily. These highly effective placements live on our home pages and section fronts in the grid shown to your left. Each ad is flagged with a sponsored tab to note that it is an ad. And these impressions should be sold on a cost per thousand basis at no lower than $10 per thousand. Native ad unit impressions will vary and depend on inventory levels by market and are displayed on both desktop and mobile for maximum reach and exposure. Once you've sold your client the native ad unit impressions, it's important to determine the click-through as it relates to the user experience. There's 2 landing page options available as a click-through from the native ad unit itself. The first and most recommended is the online article landing page that I spoke to earlier. This will allow your client to have their custom content published on our website for the duration of their native campaign. The other option would be for the native ads to click through to the client's website directly. Keep in mind the user experience when determining the best option for your client. For example, as a user, if I'm interested in reading this article about cybersecurity in my community based on a native ad that I saw on our homepage, I would probably be confused and bounce if I was directed to the business's website where that content is nowhere to be found. We can also take the great custom content that's been created or provided by the client and place it alongside our valuable print editorial. You'll notice on the example to the left that this article doesn't come across as an ad at all, and it blends right into our other editorial pieces. Native print ads should be sold and priced at a premium to standard PCIs in your markets, and these costs will vary market to market based on rates, audiences, and various ad size options. Our social channels continue to grow and gain momentum in our markets. Give your clients the opportunity to speak to our social followers and share this great native content through our various social channels. If your market's Facebook page is verified with a blue check mark, we can boost these native articles and videos through our Facebook pages to reach a potentially viral market. Some markets have also seen success including these native articles in an ad mail or what counts opt-in email blast. So I know we've just gone over a ton of information, so I'd just like to recap. The 2 prongs of the native strategy are the content strategy and the distribution strategy. This visual is an easy-to-digest representation of how all of these elements come together. I would strongly encourage you to use and customize this slide when pitching native to your clients to really help connect the dots. It allows you to represent a somewhat complex and potentially new strategy to your client in a very visual way. Now I'd like to hand it over to Amanda Waringa in Northwest Indiana, who's going to share some of her experiences selling native and highlight an in-market success. I'll hand it over to you, Amanda.
Sounds great. Thanks, Sherry. So some of the successes that we've had in approaching selling the sponsored content packages are, one, kind of brainstorming ideas with the client. Oftentimes they can't really picture, what they would maybe write about other than, a ribbon cutting at a grand opening. So we often go into the meeting when we're presenting to them with an idea or two and then try to brainstorm some topics as we're with them. It starts some help them visualize it, sort of like we had done with People's Bank, talking about staying safe with cybersecurity banking concerns. They loved that idea, and that's a big part of what helps, turn the key with that sale. Oftentimes, if a customer is having a hard time, seeing how effective this will be for them, how many people are going to be able to be reached through this campaign, I give an example of one of the most successful campaigns that is out there, and that is one that was put on by Netflix. They were actually one of the top 2% of the most read articles on New York Times website back in 2014. And the headline there was "Women Inmates: Why the Male Model Doesn't Work," and that was from Netflix, and they were promoting their new show, Orange is the New Black. So that just kind of helps the customer resonate with, what sponsored content is. It's not just promoting the business. This is talking about something that the business has authority to discuss with the community, and then they're attaching their name to it. So that helps to start out the brainstorming session and really come up with some fun ideas and ways that we can distribute information for the business. And then of course telling them that the content has legs. We're creating these articles. They can distribute it through some of their channels, but the most effective channels are going to be through our paper and online, and also through our social media channels. So that really helps get them excited about it. A couple of the challenges that we've had just kind of with ongoing sales is the customer still wants the help to brainstorm those ideas. So with certain accounts, particularly in healthcare, one of their hang-ups was that not having the bandwidth to come up with ideas every month. So a way that we've been able to get them to step forward is saying, hey, we'll give you three topics, 3 ideas that we could potentially pursue for this upcoming month, and then all they have to do is pick one, and we can move forward with that. So that's helped with that particular advertiser. Just sometimes these businesses are so busy they don't have the time to be creative and to think about their business. So that's been one help. Also, we've had to do some slight adjusting with our packages. With the the starting level, it's one article, and we're going to distribute that, and it kind of goes up from there. And our top package was 4 articles a month, which ended up being a little bit too much for anybody that we had presented it to. So by scaling back the amount of articles but boosting up the distribution that we can have for it, we were able to keep it at the same price point by keeping the workflow running smoothly with the advertiser.
Excellent. That is some really great insight, Amanda. I really like how your team has taken that partnership to the next level by providing 3 or 4 ideas every month for that healthcare client, just to keep that campaign moving and take some of the heavy lifting off of their shoulders. So that's really great to hear.
Yeah. And People's Bank, the samples that you have shown here, they've been really happy with their campaign. The feedback has been excellent. Just even the ongoing process of writing those articles and how we're distributing them. We're also putting together some canvases so they can be hanging that up in their location. So it's been going very well.
Excellent. Great. Well, thanks so much for sharing. I'd like to now kick it over to Zane in Billings, who's going to go through some of the success that he's seeing in Billings and how they've developed some of their content advertising packages. Zane?
Thanks, Sherry. Yeah, so we've had kind of multiple versions of sponsored content that we've been running, for about a year or more, and kind of settled in here a couple months ago on the package that you see there with this, new serving it through DFP. I would echo definitely some of Amanda's comments. It's extremely important to come in with ideas. 2 or 3 ideas for the customer, just to get them thinking on, what type of content they can put out there, what the articles might be, and also setting the stage as far as, it's not a promotional piece. We want to be very informational with this. We're placing it in a native position that looks like it is content on our website, and and that's what we want it to be. That's what the customer is expecting, and that's what's going to see the best results. If it's something that's sales focused, we've got other avenues to go. But just make sure that it's very informational, and staying away from the self-promotion for this stuff. So what we've done here recently is partnered with somebody locally to write content for us, either a 300 or 500 word article on the customer. So basically we set them up for an interview. We've had 3 of them that have gone live with that strategy, and off to good success with them. We've seen same successes in the verticals of healthcare, nonprofits. We have an insurance one that we're working on right now, but good success there. And then also in service, we have an arborist that we met with, and basically there's just there's things about his job. He really specializes in the health of your trees, and did you know that you can have him come out and do an inventory on your trees, and so if anything were ever to happen, you actually are covered, an X amount of dollars per tree to have them replaced. Just things like that the typical homeowner doesn't know, and information out there that's valuable that he can speak to. So we've seen some good successes. The one that we have highlighted here is one that probably resonates with a lot of other markets. It's the local Boys and Girls Club, and what we are what the content is for is their Be Great Ball, which I think is something that the Boys and Girls Clubs do in many other markets. And so basically, we highlighted a couple of the youth in their program, just kind of their story, what they kind of where they came from, where they're going now, and then information on what the Be Great Ball is, a little bit about how to donate, but really more so what those donations go towards, and just focusing on the youth and bettering the youth in the community. That's something that we just posted last week, this one here, and right away people started sharing it from our Facebook. Lots of comments on there. We've had good traffic to the article. We have the native position that you see a screenshot of. You see the article there. We have, if you take a look at our base package, it's the content write-up, it's the native position, a Facebook post, and then a print ad. And then below, what you don't see is we also have a la carte options for email blasts to our What Counts database, Facebook boosting, additional print ads, at a discounted rates, additional banner ads, additional native banner ads, and so just additional ways to promote that. And we've seen good success with adding those in there. Just kind of through our experience, a lot of traffic is driven through the Facebook boost and email blasts with these, and so speaking to really, here's the content, we're going to distribute it through our channels. You can also use it for your website in whatever capacities you guys want to use it, so it can have benefits to you outside of ours, but here's also some other ways that we can really hit it hard and get your message out there. And so yeah, we've seen good success. We have 3 that have gone up on this program, and I think 5 more that are kind of in the works over the next month for customers. And what we kind of have set it at, just because in working with our newsroom and our content team, don't want to be putting out too much sponsored content. We have this kind of set at a baseline of probably 3 a week max starting out, and see how that goes. So we would at max be doing Facebook posts and boosts 3 times a week, email blasts that might be for the sponsored content 3 times a week at max, just to make sure that we're not kind of over inundating our audience with sponsored content.
Great. Yeah, that's really good insight, Dane, and I appreciate the variety of different verticals that you guys are sharing this native strategy with. especially on the philanthropic side. I think that's really important. And then also the fact that there's just such a large appetite out there in the marketplace to have a Native strategy really reinforces why we're moving forward with this launch and are excited to see how this upward trajectory continues to climb. So thanks so much for sharing.
Yeah, I think one more thing real quick, just to add to it, kind of through our experience here, it's really important to keep in mind the header for like the Facebook post and the email and the photo. We've seen, with Billings Clinic, who is one of the 2 major hospitals in the market that signed up for 12 months, did a post on facial plastic surgery, basically, and the photo was not the greatest. The headline was not the greatest, and so it just didn't get the traffic, even though we boosted it. With Facebook, just for example, we put a $200 boost behind it, and it reached about 2,500 people, which is pretty low considering our Facebook audience that we already have, to hit and boost. Whereas this Boys and Girls Club one that you see here, just starting a week ago, we basically put the same dollar amount, and only a fraction of it's been spent, and it's already surpassed what that Billings Clinic posting has done. And I think a lot of it is just just the photo and the headline, just something that resonates with the audience. It's definitely something we need to keep in mind with these.
Yeah, definitely good insight and some sharing of best practices. That's excellent. Great. Well, thanks again so much for sharing. Based on the 2 test markets that just spoke, we've collaborated a little bit and come up with some Native advertising packages that you can adopt in your markets. Now, these are just suggestions, and they can be altered to fit your specific client or market's needs. But the first package is the Expert Package, and this package is designed for your really serious Native clients. So some potential verticals that come to mind when thinking of this robust of a strategy are healthcare and financial. The content strategy and distribution strategy here are very robust and include many different multiple layers of content. Please note that these content and distribution options are left to your market's discretion based on inventory levels and availability. The next package is the Influencer Package, and this package is a happy medium between the 3 options. The content and distribution strategy are a nice mid-level campaign for clients that are looking to take their Native advertising efforts up a notch. And the last package is a great entry point for any client who's looking to dip their toe in the Native advertising waters a bit. The Specialist Package consists of a content strategy and distribution strategy that are very simple yet effective for any client looking to try Native. Basic pricing for the elements that were included in those packages are available a la carte as well if you'd like to create additional packages or add to the existing suggested packages. We've also put together an easy-to-use and edit sales piece with some selling points and package options to use in your market. This editable PowerPoint file will be uploaded and available on Sales Matters after this call. And the efficacy of these Native ad units will be tracked in the Amplified dashboard under the Display tab. Please note that this reporting is alongside any additional owned and operated impressions that are active. So be sure to name the Native assets accordingly to set them apart and distinguish them from other ads that may be running. To get a campaign started, you will book the Native ad unit impressions locally. Sinead's team had a fulfillment training call in December on how to book these. However, if you've missed this training, it is recorded, and the recording and training deck will be available on Sales Matters after this call. If your package includes content, infographic, or video creation, you will submit a request to the link below. Once this request is submitted, a member from the fulfillment team will reach out to you within a day or two with next steps and further information. This link is available on Online Matters in the intranet, and these Native content pieces should be booked under the Native Advertising Amplified Digital option. Any invoicing for Native content will be charged back to your market from corporate. I'm going to hand it over to Sinead here just to tee up a little bit on the processes and where we've come from start to finish and how things will be moving going forward.
Thank you, Sherry, and good afternoon, everyone. Well, as many of you know, we have been testing a number of native vendors over the past couple of years, and we were thrilled to finally have access to the Google DoubleClick or Google DFP solution, and that is what we're moving forward with. So we have complete integration of the native ad units and the corresponding article within DFP. So we, as Sherry mentioned, we have holistic reporting and hopefully a very easy to set up campaign. We are evaluating several vendors currently for the native content production, which is the reason for the current workflow. Submitting through the custom content request form allows us to evenly distribute the requests across multiple vendors, thus alleviating that task from you guys. Once we have selected the best vendor, and we will be using the criteria that we normally apply to vendor selection, outstanding product at the best price with a least scalable contract. Once we have that vendor in place, we will update the fulfillment workflow accordingly. As always, please feel free to reach out to our team with any questions with respect to fulfillment,